Hey, it's time for Stevie GB. Stevie rocks. Hey, kids, rock and roll, rock on. Album number 24 of my 100 albums that I love to listen to and never get tired of is the debut album by an old girl group called the Runaways. Now, the Runaways were really the first all girl band. I mean, there was some 50s bands, but I mean like all girl rock and roll punk band. Okay. Uh, and I first of all, I was like 19 and these girls were young. They were quite attractive, I could say, or, there was something a little jailbaity about them. But, it was like, there was definitely never mind. I'm not going to go there, but you know what I'm talking about. They were cute. All right. Let's call it that. But it was a great, and at first it was a novelty. It was like, oh, the Runaways, an all girl band. And girls can't rock and roll. And if you watch the Joan Jett documentary, you'll see how she feels about that. And it's kind of sad what happened to her. But you know what? Look, Joan Jett, iconic, iconic. Um, but the Runaways, what? I heard the 45 Cherry Bomb and I was hooked. I said, this is great. I just immediately loved it. It made me giggle a little bit. But I was like, this is really good, catchy song. It's fun. It was fun. And like a little bit of David Bowie, a lot of Susie Quattro. It was rock and roll. It was just glammy, punky, sexy, and real. It was real. You got the feeling like they were really runaways. They were like little slutty girls with guitars, and they dressed the part, they looked the part, and they could play. I mean, Joan Jett, Lita Ford on lead guitar. Lita Ford went on to play some incredible albums, solo albums, a rock star, right, in her own right. Performed with Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, Lita Ford was in the Runaways. I don't know if people know that. They had a lead singer, Cherie Currie, who was just sexy and adorable, and she knew how to work it. It was a fun, and it's a great record. It's a great record. Cherry Bomb, You Drive Me Wild, Hollywood. They have a great cover of the Velvet Underground's Rock and Roll. It's just a really fun listen. They were a good band. They never quite made it as big as they should have in the U.S. They were huge in Japan, big in the UK, kind of fit in with the whole punk scene. But in the United States, I guess they were considered like a novelty act. Never got the big hit single. Now, of course, after Cherie Currie left the band, which was maybe after the second album, maybe the third, I'm not sure. It was pretty quick. Joan Jett took over, and then they disbanded. But Joan Jett is still great, just iconic. Love Joan Jett. Saw her at Jones Beach last year. She was phenomenal. Maybe it was 2 years ago. I also saw Joan Jett with the Runaways after Cherie left the band with the Ramones. It was the Ramones headlined and the Runaways opened up. And a very obscure band named Suicide was the opening act. It was Suicide, the Runaways, and the Ramones. That's quite a concert. And they were great. They were phenomenal. Just, I love this album. I still listen to it. It gives me joy. It's fun. It's just a fun rock and roll record. They had a couple albums after that that were pretty good too, but they kind of petered out. We got it. Joan Jett had some great solo albums. Some of her songs are a little hacky. The writing is simplistic, but she gets to the point. She gets to the point. You know what she's all about. That's what I loved about the Runaways. You knew what they were all about. They were singing songs, and you were like, okay. They were singing about themselves, basically. There wasn't any like sappy love songs going on here. It was all about being teenage girls. It was a fun time, a fun record. I love it. Still do today. Listened to it the other day, and it just brought a smile to my face. The Runaways. Check them out. Bye bye.